Okay, so today what we're going to have a look at is a tibialis posterior tendinopathy. So what we're looking at here is a problem with the tendon. So the tendon attaches muscle to bone, and we're looking at one of the tendons in the foot. This can come across quite similarly to a plantar fasciitis, so it's really important to make sure you get a good diagnosis on this. It comes down through the foot and actually sits right behind the shin bone. As a muscle, and the tendon comes around the lower part of the foot and underneath the arch of the foot. And the reason it's important, we're increasingly seeing this as a problem with runners, and as we come into the warmer weather, we're not there yet, we start to see, particularly in females who transfer across to wearing sandals and flip-flops a lot more during the day, they start to have a lot more problems with this tendon. It takes a lot more load. So we're going to have a look at that and why that happens. If you're getting pain on this area, on this tibialis posterior, the tendon, as you can see as I've marked here, sits just behind the ankle bone and comes around underneath the arch of the foot. So the pain will tend to be either just below the ankle bone or probably just above, near where it's joining into the muscle. They're the two common points. You'll tend to find that it will be painful and stiff first thing in the morning. It will tend to be painful if you're wearing non-supportive shoes and you're standing on your feet for long periods of the day. At the end of the day, it will tend to get painful as well. You'll tend to have problems running and doing a calf raise. So if you're worried about this type of problem, just going onto the single leg and just rising up onto your toes will start to give you a good idea. If that's painful, you're unable to do it, this could be one of the problems that you're facing. Okay, so we want to have a look at why. Why does this tendon get loaded? Why does it cause problems? There are a number of different reasons. It's really important that you get somebody to assess it properly and understand the full biomechanics of the chain through the whole leg. What we're going to look at today is the lateral rotation of the lower leg. So when you land on your heel, if I get Gina just to come up onto the heel, we want to land slightly on that outside section of the rear part of the heel. Not a massive angle to the ground, but that will give us the ability to come down onto the foot. We should roll in a little bit naturally, and then we push off through the toe and re-engage the arch. That locks the foot up and gives us a nice stable foot to push off, whether we're running or walking. Okay, so what we tend to see is a lot of people with excessive lateral rotation. So their foot, when they're standing or sitting, so this is very easy for you to check, comes out into that lateral rotated position. So the toes will be facing out away from the body. This tends to happen, could be because of the hip, and we spend a lot of time sitting, so we get excessive activation through the hip flexors. Could be because of tight hamstrings, pulling that through. Could be weakness in the muscles. That's not the important bit now. The important bit is that we sort of start to understand the biomechanics of why we're loading this tendon and that lateral rotation. So I want you to have a look at yourself, maybe walk on the spot for 10 steps and then stop and have a look down. Are your toes facing relatively straight ahead, or is your foot finished, turned out to the side like we have here with Gina? If that's the case, this could be one of the things that's feeding into your problem. Okay, so if you suspect this is the problem that you've got, we're going to give you a couple of things that you can try to help just calm things down. As I said, the 2 points that tend to get painful, just above the ankle bone and just below, good to ice that and just desensitize it. It's not going to help it because it's not an inflammatory process, but it will calm the pain down. So that's a really good thing to do. Obviously try and not be on your feet all day, wear supportive shoes. That will always help just take pressure off the tendon. In terms of actually helping the muscle itself, we can't get onto it because it's too deep in behind the calf muscle. But if you come up and come off the shin bone, you'll come onto the long toe flexors, and they can be really tight, so good to release those, and into the medial calf, and you'll find some trigger points in there that you can work on, put some pressure on and just release that extra stress that's going into this area. The other thing to do, bring your foot nice and straight, just soften your knees slightly, and then come up about an inch with your heels off the ground and hold it. If you're doing static work on a tendinopathy, it shouldn't hurt. Okay, so there's a nice way to build some strength and endurance back up into the tendon and the muscle and get things on the right track. But as I say, it's a complex problem, so it's really important you get a good diagnosis and get the right solution for you. Thank you.